name is Richardson from TheManation.co.uk, and this is our E3 2012 impressions video for Microsoft's E3 conference that took place on Monday. Now, the general consensus going around the internet at the moment is that Microsoft conference was bad. Now, I wouldn't say that it was bad so much as a wasted opportunity. Microsoft had a lot of AAA titles to show off at the conference, but for some reason they decided it was better if they focused more on services and applications for the Xbox that no one watching really cared about. Still, Microsoft had 16 quality titles that they showed off, and these are my impressions of the games that were shown and the whole conference in general. But I think we'll start with the games because they were by far the most important part of the conference. So the conference started with Halo 4. It was amazing. Actually, I'm not really a Halo fan, but it looked a lot like Metroid, and Metroid looked amazing. And I think the best thing about this is that 343 Industries have taken their own approach to it. This isn't just another Bungie title. 343 Industries have really taken their own spin on the franchise, and I think it's looking really promising. And you know what? I'm actually quite excited for a Halo title. I've never thought I'd say that. But yeah, it looks really good. Next to be announced was Splinter Cell Blacklist, a direct continuation of Splinter Cell Conviction, which I loved. A lot of people didn't like that game. And yeah, it was very... well, one button did everything, basically. There wasn't much stealth or, involvement from the player, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really quality, stylish game. So I'm glad to see that there's a sequel coming for that. A short gameplay demonstration showed Kinect functionality, but it looked gimmicky, and obviously we won't have to use it. I mean, Mass Effect 3 had Kinect functionality, but did anyone actually use that? So yeah, that looks good. I'm looking forward to that as well. I think Splinter Cell is a franchise that it's been overlooked in recent years, but I love stealth games, and there's not enough stealth games out there. And yeah, it's not as hardcore or as traditional as like the Metal Gear Solid titles or even original Splinter Cell games, but I'm thinking it's looking good, and I'm looking forward to Blacklist. Resident Evil 6 also received a demonstration, and it's looking a lot like Resident Evil 5. I have to say I'm an absolutely huge fan of Resident Evil games. I have been since the very original on the PlayStation 1. And, it's not even like I don't like the action style of Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 is probably my all-time favourite game. But it's looking a bit too action-oriented, and I think it's a little bit annoying because the director did say that the Leon sections were going to be very classic survival horror. Well, they're not. I mean, Leon's rolling around on the floor, he's snapping to walls, and it looks like a good game, don't get me wrong. It looks very polished, it looks very stylish, it looks very slick. But it's not horror. I mean, how is that going to be scary? You're too overpowered. Horror is scary in games when you're useless, when you have no way of fighting the enemies that are coming towards you. And if you're rolling around on the floor and jumping through doors and doing Max Payne style bat flips and jumping, it's going to be good, don't get me wrong. I liked Resident Evil 5. I think that was the only person who seemed to, but it was a good game. Resident Evil 6 is looking a bit too action oriented, but it's still going to be good. But don't buy it if you're expecting a return to the classic formula, because let's face it, the classic formula just doesn't sell. Tomb Raider also received a demo, the reboot. I think that's looking very much like Uncharted, but Uncharted's fantastic, and this is probably going to be a very good game, but it's not going to be a Tomb Raider game. Let's face it, it's going to be very much Uncharted, Lara's Fortune. It's going to be an Uncharted clone, which is sad because Uncharted had so much influence from Tomb Raider, and now Tomb Raider has to take so much influence from Uncharted. And some things, like there was the trailer that was released last week, and it had that bit where the guy was touching her up and that, and she kept getting hurt, and it seems a little bit too grim for Tomb Raider. I mean, Tomb Raider was never exactly light-hearted, but it never exactly had Lara being hurt so often, and she gets hurt so often. We'll have to see. I'm excited for it, but I think Tomb Raider fans are going to be disappointed. There are also a couple of games, different trailers. South Park: The Stick of Truth is looking just like the South Park episode, which I'm looking very forward to. It's developed by Obsidian, who did Fallout New Vegas and Alpha Protocol, and it's looking quite good, so I'm really excited for that. Fable the Journey and Days of War Judgment also got incredibly small teaser trailers, and for some reason, even though there are in-game demos on the show floor, Microsoft decided that two of their biggest franchise only deserved a 20-30 second spot, which I find very odd. And that leads me quite nicely to my point about Microsoft wasting all their opportunities. I mean, I haven't even mentioned all of the games. Forza Horizon got a really nice tech demo, and they also revealed 3 very short trailers for a game called Loto Cycle, Matter, and ascend new gods. And for some reason these games were given just short trailers, even though they look like unique experiences exclusive to the Xbox Live Arcade. So why did Microsoft decide then to focus on things like Xbox Smart Glass and Night Plus and Kinect for sports titles? Well, maybe the last one is acceptable because they are at least games, but Smart Glass and, Internet Explorer and Night Plus, I mean, these were tedious demonstrations. Smart Glass just looks like Xbox went, oh god, the Wii U actually looks quite good. Maybe, oh god, people are going to buy this. People are going to buy the Wii U. It actually might change things. People have tablets, right? Put boring stuff on a tablet, right? Make it so when you're watching TV, it shows you things that IMDb's been telling them for 10 years. Do it. Put it on a tablet. That's great. That's what they want. Put it on there. And that's Smart Glass, effectively. It just seems pointless. I mean, what was demoed? The fact that we can use it to look for multiplayer matches in Halo 4 while playing Halo 4? Are we really that lazy? Is the gaming community now that we need to look for games on our tablets while the game is right there on the screen in front of us? I find that very strange. I mean, yeah, Internet Explorer coming to Xbox looks good, and it's better than the PlayStation browser. I mean, that's just a load of rubbish. And the fact that you can use your touchscreen on your phone or tablet as a mouse, that's also quite nice. I like that. That's a good use for Smart Glass, using things that most people now own as, an extra sort of controller because, browsing on consoles is fiddly. So, yeah, that's not a bad announcement. Is this really necessary? I mean, the guy who was introducing Smart Glass said that everyone who plays a game has a tablet or a smartphone within hand's reach. So, if we have a tablet or a smartphone within hand's reach, why do we need to browse the internet on Xbox? We have web-enabled devices in our reach. You've just said that. We don't need Internet Explorer. We can look for whoever's in Game of Thrones or Prometheus from, these devices that we already own. But, whatever. It's nice that Xbox is still trying every year to re-innovate and make the console feel fresh again. At least the Xbox has tried to redefine itself year in, year out. So for that reason I can't knock it, but Smart Glass just seems a little too pointless. Anyway, my main concern is they shouldn't have put so much time to demonstrating it. I mean, we could have been seeing Days of War Judgment gameplay demo, or some more of Fable the Journey, but no, instead we're looking at someone watch Game of Thrones or watching Sherlock Holmes. It makes no sense. This is E3, this is a gaming conference. We didn't need to see someone piss about with a tablet, but whatever, It's nowhere as bad as Night Plus. We have to admit it, Kinect is here to stay, and it's going to be in all of our games, and it's going to have functionality revealed every year that no one's going to use, but, it's there. Let's just face it, Kinect is there. But surely by now Microsoft realise that the hardcore market don't care. Because let's face it, I don't know anyone who has a Kinect that actually uses it as much as just the standard gamepad. And I certainly don't know anyone who uses fitness games on it. So why Microsoft decided to spend God knows how long talking about Night Plus is just... it boggles the mind. It really does. And it made for a very tedious, disjointed conference that a lot of people were almost embarrassed to watch. It was pathetic. Which is why I felt like a wasted opportunity. We had great games on display from Xbox, but for some reason they decided that they weren't important enough to have their proper gameplay demos, and for that reason, Microsoft, you really didn't do very well at this year's E3. So there we have it. There are my impressions for this year's Microsoft E3 conference. I will be back tomorrow with my impressions for Sony and Nintendo. I realise I'm already 2 days late, but I'm reporting on E3 by myself on the website. So as you can imagine, I'm a bit busy trying to upload videos, post news stories, and obviously do these videos. So thanks for watching and thanks for your patience. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you want to know more information about E3, you can head on over to our dedicated hub at gamination.co.uk/E3. Thanks for watching, and I will be back with you tomorrow.